Welcome into another edition of General Hospital Spotlight right here on ABC11.com and wherever you stream ABC 11. I am Darren Smith, ABC 11's GH Insider. Joining me this week are Asher Antonyzyn and Finn Carr, better known to GH fans as Danny Morgan and Rocco Falconeri. Gentlemen, thank you so much for hopping on today.
Thank you for having us.
That's right. Thank you for having us. I'm excited to be here.
Finn, let's start with you.
Sure.
This isn't your first rodeo. You've kind of grown up in the business. How did all your acting in the past as a younger kid set you up for success here on GH?
Well, yeah, I've been acting since I was 4, and working on shows intermittently through then. I've only done comedies before General Hospital, and so it was definitely a bit of a switch. But I think being on set so much and kind of learning how things go definitely still applies to General Hospital, even though there is definitely some differences. And I was excited to kind of go into some more dramatic style acting and get angry at this guy a little bit.
What type of adjustments have you had to make? Because doing the comedies, one show per week or whatever takes it's not as much intensity as there is on doing a daily soap opera.
Yeah, there's a lot more volume, and there definitely is a learning curve to that. I think we've gotten to the point where we're pretty used to it by now. But a difference in acting definitely is the subtlety. I think in comedies and doing that sort of thing, you can be a lot bigger, but cameras on soaps pick up some tiny details, and so it's good to allow them to do that and not force it.
And Asher, on the flip side, this is your big break, right?
Yeah, it's my very first acting job. Started acting my freshman year, so pretty much all my high school career.
What made you want to get into acting, and more so the longest running daytime drama of all time?
Well, the story of how I started was it was right after COVID was just, world was kind of going back to normal a little bit. And my mom saw like a pop-up Facebook ad for a talent agency, and she's like, our life's been pretty boring during COVID, so let's, Asher, why don't you just try this out? And I was like, fine. Like my entire life growing up, all I wanted to do was sports. So this was kind of a twist for me. And then I did about a year of acting and modeling classes, and then I did this big event called the IMTAs that they hold out here. So I traveled out here with my agency, did it's competitions, 6 modeling, 6 acting. So I did really well, got my manager, agents, and then about a year later I got the audition for GH. And then I came to do an in-person audition, and Mark Fesher gave me the job on the spot. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
That's awesome. You
Yeah.
got the job on the spot.
Yeah, it was very.
I mean, you can see the resemblance between you and Steve Burton. So I mean, it seemed to be like a natural fit, right?
We were walking down. There's a hallway right here with a bunch of old photos of when like Steve was in his early 20s, and I was like, I see a little bit. It was pretty cool.
I had to wait till the car ride home to get my call. So
Yeah.
they must like me as much.
Now you guys are in an interesting situation where you're both still not only on the show but in real life still in school. Neither one of you live in LA. Talk about the challenges or the advantages, disadvantages, whatever of, Asher, you're in Chicago, Finn, you're in San Francisco. Talk about the challenges of going to school and commuting back and forth to LA every so often.
Well, I almost always have people beat on the commute to work, right? I live in San Francisco, but somehow he's further. But you fly, and I drive, but I think they're like a similar distance. So,
yeah. Your drive is like 6 hours.
Yeah,
though. My flight's like 4-ish.
Still, you're going further. But yeah, it's quite the journey over. But I make up for it in some movie watching in the car rides. Yeah.
No, but with dealing with school, because I'm still like I go to a public school. It's definitely it was very hard at the start, especially when they started like picking up my film dates. and my teachers made it very easy. A lot of things are online. So just, doing that, school teachers here are great. So they were keeping me on track. He had to keep me on track a couple times. But no, besides that, at home, school life, everyone, they know what it is. They think it's all really cool. So yeah.
So
And then
I was going to say, what are your own friends back home say? I mean, when you say, "Hey, I've got to fly to LA to tape GH for a week or two, however long how long you go."
No, all my friends at the start, they were all very curious because they didn't really know what it was. I know, LA, a lot of kids have, dipped their feet in acting. Me in Chicago, it's not very common for, kid actors to be in like public schools like that. So everyone was very curious about all of that. But now they know actor I'm the actor kid of the school, and I'm the one who is always missing school and out in LA, and they all think it's pretty cool now.
Yeah, so I do independent study now for my junior year and then going into my senior year. But my first 2 years, I was like him, and I went to a normal public school back in the San Francisco Bay Area, and everyone there also thought it was pretty cool. So I think that's something we definitely share.
Mm-hmm.
Did either of your parents watch GH prior to you guys being on, or anybody in the family when you told them, "Hey, I booked this role on GH"? Who was like the most excited in your family?
Well, it was probably
Fan wise, let's say, as a fan of the show.
yeah. Um, Probably my grandma, my dad's mom, was very excited. She grew up watching it. She knew all of the characters. My dad thought it was really cool when I got the audition, and so did my mom. But it's like the funniest because like a lot of my like best friends, their parents are huge fans. Like it is insane how like they would tell me all the stories about how they would like run home after their class in college and tape it at like 2, 3 o'clock or whatever it was. It's so fun.
My mom watched a lot of soaps growing up, and General Hospital was one of them. So she was definitely very excited, especially when some of my first big scenes on the show were with the wonderful Jeannie Francis. She was very excited to hear about that. Someone who's amazing, my French teacher. She was very excited to hear that I was Luke and Laura's grandson. So not in the family, but she was a great French teacher.
Let's get into some stories. We'll start with Finn. You recently had probably one of the most dramatic events happen on daytime for a teenager.
Yeah.
Did they talk to you prior to you getting the script that you were going to be shooting Ross Cullum, or did you just happen to see the script and be like, and holy crap, what?
I think everyone on the set knows things before I do.
Hmm.
And so everyone was telling me that I was doing this. And I was like, whoa, what? I think we came back from a break one day. But a lot of the time I do get some of those bigger ones in advance. Frank likes to talk to me beforehand and kind of give me the rundown, which is great to hear. And then I can go with my acting coach and talk about it. But yeah, it was such an honor to be able to be the one to pull the trigger. I think it was so much fun. And it was a great storyline to get into.
What was that day of taping like for you?
I think it was wonderfully professional with how gun safety was all handled. I think that was great. And I was really excited for it. I always say this, but yeah, it was the hardest day on set where I had no lines. I didn't have to talk that day, but it was a lot of hiding in a corner and then cutting. It was a long day on set, but I think it was done so well, and I think it came out really nicely. I loved the final product. For sure.
Asher, you recently, basically along the same storyline, just in a separate aspect, when Danny's dad, Jason Morgan, was arrested for that shooting and taken away in the WSB van, the emotions that came out from you, banging on the van door, etc. Just talk about that day for you.
That day it was honestly a lot of fun. Well, the worst part was it was the last scene of the day. So I was there a long time. I was very tired. And then it was like go time when I got there. So many people on set. And I was talking to a lot of them, Ryan and Dom, especially because they're the ones who had to like hold me back from doing that. And I was like, you guys are good with this. I'm going to try as hard as I can to get away, and I'm going to bang on that van as hard as I can, just so these. If I'm gonna do it 100%, and I did, and I'm glad they turned out how they did. Steve made it. It was. I mean, Steve was going away for a while, so part of it was real, just seeing him, have to leave for a little bit. But no, it was a very fun day. I'll say that.
I stayed on set
That's
that
right,
day. I
that's
stayed
right,
on set
yeah.
that day to watch those scenes because I had a really early call and it was the last item of the day, but I'm like, I'm staying. I gotta see it.
He's the best with that. He did it like yesterday too.
Yeah, yeah. I love staying and watching my buddy act. It's so much fun.
Each of you tell me who your biggest influence on set is. Who do you go to for advice? One of the obviously, which veteran do you go to the most, if any, actually?
Well, honestly, for me, if I had to name two, it would probably be Steve Burton and Finn. Like seriously, like I will. Be a lot of scenes where I'll be like, where I'll honestly be like, Finn, like I don't really know how to play this. How would you play it? And then, he'll give me his expertise, and that'll work. But no, Steve was the first guy that really ever sat me down, really helped me just improve my acting, and like improved the just like how I would deliver lines, and how it's not just saying them, but it's actually acting the lines. And even when I'm not talking, how to just so many little things, especially like where to stand in lighting, where to look with your eyes, just all that stuff he taught me. And then Finn's always someone I can go to because a lot of times I'm here with him, but I'll always be chatting up Steve or someone like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, I love going to you for teenager stuff, especially since it's probably what I would do in real life anyways. It is what I do in real life. But on the set, I mean, I love acting with so many people. I love acting with Kelly, Steve, Dom, Alexa, Jeannie, like all of them are so great. But I think in terms of mentorship, again, all of them, but in particular, Jeannie is great. She's so sweet. Alexa is amazing. And then Dom is such a grounding person to act with. Yeah, very much. He's very grounding in your scenes. I feel like I'm the most comfortable with Dom. Because he adds a lot of stuff in and it makes you listen and it keeps you loose. Yeah, so I think those are probably some three people that I work with a lot, and so obviously I ask them a lot of questions.
Yeah.
I asked on Instagram earlier this past weekend, let's get some fan comments. What do you want to know? So I picked out one for each of you. And I've been wondering this too, and it's the whole Scout's age thing. Is there something brewing between Scout and Rocco?
That's an interesting question. There is a lot. Kaden is great to work with. I love working with her, and there is definitely some great stuff coming up that people are gonna want to watch. Making sure I'm not saying too much. It's great. It's good stuff. Really fun.
And for Asher, when is Danny going to get a girlfriend?
Oh my God.
Yeah, come on. Get on that.
Danny's been asking the same question.
I mean,
No,
we thought, Danny and Charlotte kissed that one time. We thought, oh, we shouldn't say that in front of Finn because Rocco's not supposed to know about that.
That's my favorite. Love that down.
But that's kind of died down a little bit.
No,
so,
I'd say, no, Danny and Charlotte, it was actually written in one of my scripts, is very like, Carly, Jason, just they have so much love for each other that if they were to do anything, it would just feel wrong because of how much they care for the other one. But no, I mean, if any other characters out there, they've been wondering.
Last question I'll ask you guys, and again, be careful. What does the future weeks hold for Rocco and Danny? Finn, you can start it.
A lot happens. We get into a lot of trouble. You get into a good bit of trouble. Yeah,
I get into a little.
I don't get into that much trouble.
I get into
I do a lot though. Not too troublesome.
Danny doesn't really know when when to stop. You know, maybe
It's a good way of putting it.
maybe we'll say that, you know, there's been times, you know, he'll do something, get yelled at a lot, says he's sorry, and then might do something again. Maybe, maybe not.
I need to yell at you more. You're not
You
listening to me.
well, I don't think you're the one who needs to yell at me because that's happened way too much.
No, it wasn't my stuff you broke.
Asher Antonyzyn, Ben Carr, guys, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. And
So-
we look forward to seeing what the future holds on GH.
Yes, yes, we do.
Soon.